For the past year or so, I've been obsessed with the subject of time. It's fascinating to me, especially after researching Saturn and its association with time. So, when I see a story from earlier this year that was reported on by the corporate media and many other outlets about a British man that was supposedly trapped in a deja vu time loop for 8 years, I saw another piece to this time puzzle. From a Live Science article, quote, "The haunting sensation was stronger than just a feeling of familiarity. The man said he felt that every present moment he was reliving the past," end quote. In researching this topic for about a year or so now, I've discovered the significance of the number 8 and its connection to time. I've covered this briefly before, and others covered it more extensively, like Enter the Stars on YouTube. It's no coincidence that 8 is the number for this deja vu time loop that this man allegedly experienced. It's also no coincidence that an hourglass is shaped like an 8. 8 represents the construct of time. That's why 8 is another variation of the Ouroboros, the snake eating itself, which has everything to do with time. And this suspicious story, as I saw it, brought to mind the film Source Code, which features a plot about a deja vu time loop computer program called the Source Code, where a man's consciousness is sent back in time to relive the final 8 minutes, the last 8 minutes in someone else's body, attempting to create an alternate timeline of reality. So we have a time loop that is set to 8 minutes, the final 8 minutes of someone's existence. When you realize the occult significance of 8 and its relation to time, it all begins to make sense. Even some of the film's promo art featured an 8 as the hourglass, because this is exactly what the number 8 is. So, if 8 represents a reality, a construct of time, what happens when there are two 8s, double 8, 88? Well, we now have the convergence of two realities, two worlds colliding. When worlds collide, therefore, 88 represents a dimensional rip in space-time, the opening of a portal. This is of course why the Back to the Future DeLorean must go 88 in order to create the tear in the fabric. This is why in another 80s film called Buckaroo Banzai Across the 8th Dimension features a time travel vehicle called the HB-88. I stumbled upon an episode of the old TV series called Goosebumps, which is based on the extremely popular and controversial Goosebumps book series of children's fiction horror. And these books were shockingly popular, and I of course read them myself. As it turns out, if you do a little research on Goosebumps and its dark history, you'll realize why it was so popular. In the episode called The Cuckoo Clock of Doom, a child travels back in time by turning the head of the cuckoo backwards. In attempting to get back to his original timeline, he accidentally breaks the number 88 off the clock. This year represented the year his younger sister was born, therefore erasing her from existence. Again, you will always see the number 8 playing a critical role in anything relating to time or time travel. This is why in the time travel film Donnie Darko, it takes place in 1988.
Time's going backwards!
Imagination. I think we got a writer on our hands. That'd make a great science fiction story, son. Time going backwards.
Another example is the very esoteric film Cabin in the Woods. We see a scene where someone attempts to escape an enclosed prison matrix reality that has been created for them and have been forced to be trapped in order to be ritually sacrificed to ancient gods called the Ancient Ones. In the scene, he tries to escape by accelerating his bike to reach the other side of the cliff, but dies upon colliding with the outer hexagonal grid shell that keeps them trapped, and sparks fly. This is why the number predominantly featured on his bike is 88. We see the collision of 88.
When this baby hits 88 miles per hour, you're gonna see some serious shit. When this baby hits 88 miles per hour, you're gonna see some serious shit.